This was one of those trips that I'm not going to say was an in-the-moment thought. It was something I had been thinking about for a while, is getting over here and getting together with Chris. Chris and I have been friends for a very long time. We've always been colleagues in the guide community and actually competitors back in the day when we used to be on tournament trails. But when you think of First Coast fishing, you think of that area between Jacksonville and Flagler. There's only 3 or 4 names that come to mind, and Captain Chris Herrera is at the top of that list. Well, I'll tell you this, I saw your restaurant there. That's gonna be calling my name later today.
You know, we're gonna go out, find us some reds, try to beat this tide. We're coming off this moon. Water's gonna come up quick. It's gonna probably push us off the flat sooner than I like and into the creeks. But if we can catch some good fish off the flat, possibly, definitely in the creeks, we're coming back for some ribs. Okay,
that's what I like to hear. And I think I've got a bait that you're really gonna like for these creeks.
Oh, yeah?
It's been working great on the West Coast. I've been using it since I cast. I think it's gonna surprise you today.
Well, I'm excited to see what you got for us, and let's go catch some redfish.
All right, let's do it.
The reason I love to guide out of Palm Coast, because literally I can guide anywhere, Mesquite Lagoon, Louisiana, wherever it is, but I call this home because the many different species Palm Coast has to offer. Northeast Florida, we have tarpon, we have snook, redfish, flounder, trout. You know, redfish definitely year-round, but we got migratory tarpon that show up in the summer times. We get snook through the warmer months, even though they're here year-round, a little tougher to catch in the wintertime, but we definitely have a great snook fishery now. And my favorite time is actually coming up in wintertime, where we do a lot of sight fishing for schools of redfish.
That's the bait I was telling you about. It's a wedge-tail swim bait.
I don't know what that's called, but that's gonna work.
It looks just like a mullet.
That's exactly what they're feeding on. Perfect size, profile.
It's just a 4.0, and it just does such a good job.
Man, I'm excited.
This time of year, those paddle tails have almost too much action, and this doesn't have nearly the body roll. It just has that nice slow sweep of that wedge tail.
You know, vibration is key right now. Nothing that moves too fast. We're in a winter pattern, so we want to fish a little slower, but you know, keeping the bait moving.
Yep.
And that wedge tail looks like it'll kick off some good vibrations. They'll be able to see that or find it one way or another. And so let's go get them.
Get up here and make a couple of casts. Get the old elbow warmed up.
I'm just glad the wind's not up right now, because we got an overcast day, so it's gonna make sight fishing a little tough, but with hardly any wind, we'll be able to see him push. Oh, see him coming out here?
Yeah, I see him.
There we go. That's what we're looking for. Look at those wakes. Even though the sun's not up and we can't physically see them, we can definitely see them by the way they're pushing. There you go. Great job. Nice job, CA. Woo!
I was like, man, one of these guys got to eat.
What a beautiful morning, and what a great start.
One of these guys got to eat.
Back off these guys a little bit.
You don't realize how thin it is in here until you...
It's thin now. It's not going to be later. We're going to be fighting some tide here.
Buddy.
A mulletron.
Mulletron. Perfect for this depth of water. What a beaut.
Yeah, let's back off these fish a little bit. I see them pushing up ahead. Take a little pressure off of them and get another whack. Pretty fish.
What a gorgeous fish. Gorgeous.
Matter of fact, I see a school coming at us. You might want to get rigged up and ready to go. We got 2 groups out here. They're going to be here near 10 o'clock going to 9 o'clock. And we're looking at about a 80-foot cast. They're coming right down this same little cut here. All right, find the bait, find the fish.
Yeah.
Good job. We're just talking about how this cove had
Had all that bait in it.
a lot of little mullet in here. And what did it eat? A mulletron. Matching the hatch. Fantastic. Need me to come down and grab them for you?
I got him.
Nice fish. Yeah, we're here just right. You know, we got that tide that's coming in super quick, and all those fish are gonna start pushing in this grass. Once they get in there, we lose them. Good moving water, bait fish around. That's the result. Redfish. Nice one. What is that, a 3.5-inch mulletron?
Yeah, that's the 4. Still
4-inch
using the 4. What a fish, huh?
Yes. Good stuff.
Well, the first flat that we visited that morning was a flat that I was very familiar with. It was just one of those flats that is, I'm gonna say, iconic for this area. Big mud flat, lots of oyster mounds. And we were able to follow groups of redfish up that flat toward the marsh grass. Now, with as many groups were there, I was surprised that they weren't willing to eat those mulletrons the way that I thought they would. But it was very skinny, and like I said, we were on the back side of the moon, and I was bombing zones. And once you start waking them up and they know something's just not right, it does make it tough. Now, we made some color changes and made a few other adjustments, and we were throwing some very light leader. We scored a few, but it did not satisfy Captain Chris. He wanted to follow those fish right up into the creeks, and he's like, we're gonna find them in some deeper holes and get them there.
The key thing here is aim for those 3 little bushes, tight to the bank. Just straight drop off. Those fish sometimes just sit in that current, riding high, waiting for something to filter down that little edge.
There he is.
There you go. Good job.
And feeling bottom was definitely it.
Yeah, they gotta feel that bottom with that jig.
Feeling
Well, that's
bottom
a good
was it.
thing. A few casts in, get the hands dirty.
I got a net back there in front of the Yamaha.
You got it.
Man, in that current, they're strong.
Yes, they are. That looks like a pretty dang good fish.
He's giving this little OG all at once. All at once. You're right about the size of the bait.
That's what you see a lot of back here. We're in a winter pattern. You got all your little mullet are kind of
You got
wintering back here.
and mud minnows.
Mud minnows galore. Your mullet. And then we had a little bit of a shrimp run back here not too long ago.
Doing what he wants to with me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that grass too. Get out of there.
Okay, got the leader here now.
All right. Woo, got him.
Healthy fish.
Nice. Look at that, hook just came out. And you had a good scale on him. Key thing there is, good thing you know how to fish, because you had a lot of pressure, you never gave it slack. You'd have given a bit of slack, you probably lost it.
Well, a lot of the fishing we do this time of year at home in the creeks is with plugs, and we mash the barbs down on them. So if you lose pressure, you lose the fish. Look how thick that redfish is.
That is a good looking fish right
That
there.
is a thick, thick redfish.
No reason for them to leave back here. They got all the food they want. They don't get any pressure. That's why they sit back here and get nice and fat. We'll let this guy go. This is like a spot where the first couple of fish you catch might be a 1/4 inch over.
Yeah.
You know, you're in the right spot.
You're in the right spot. When they're a little too big.
That's a pretty fish there.
I love it when their fins stand up like that. What a showman. Oh.
And I got a bass.
And you
That's
get a
all right.
bass.
I don't mind. Winter fishing is some of my favorite type of fishing. I was very excited when CA called and said, hey, let's do a show again. And I'm thinking to myself, we got clear water, we got schools of fish, this is gonna be easy. Well, things changed. We had a front move through, we had some little bit of wind days prior, churned the water up, it was hard to see, and we had this full moon that brought in a lot of water. So what we do is we changed the way we approach things. We actually brought me back to my tournament days where you fish slower, very methodical, and just cover areas you know fish are gonna be passing by. It takes a lot of patience, but our background as tournament fishermen has instilled that patience in us over the years. All right, let's do it. There's a little oyster bar right there. They must be all mixed up on. There he is again. There he is.
I'll let you come through there.
Let's see. Nope, grass fish. Something you don't see too often when you got a deep creek. There you go. Fish feeding on the surface like that, just slurping.
There's stuff floating in here.
Yeah. What do we have here? Another pinch point.
Yeah.
Current coming out.
Current stronger.
And you have structure. You got all the makings of a good fishing spot.
Wow, boy. Look at
Current, bait, pinch point, structure.
this way, back this way. You starting to figure out Captain Chris has got something to get him.
Oh yeah, good fish.
That Mulletron is
Nice job, my
kicking
man.
butt.
Might have found a new soft plastic I need to throw here.
Yeah, I find that when everyone else is used to throwing paddle tails, if you throw one of these little wedge tail swim baits, it's just amazing. Oh yeah, beautiful fish. Another one with a giant spot on him.
Yeah, look at that.
Good.
And it's just the way he was sitting there feeding on the surface.
Once you
Makes me think there's gotta be more
Once
in
you
there.
pointed him out, then I knew where to throw.
That's what you want to see. Look at that. Good job. Face him into the current. Take a little splash again. Off to the next one.
One of the things you come to learn over time as an experienced angler is you just have to adapt to whatever conditions and whatever scenarios happen. And that's why it is smart to pick a guide that has been working a zone for a very long time and has seen everything at least 100 times. So knowing that we were going to fish on the backside of the moon, on a front, once again, it pays to have someone that has seen that enough times to put us, well, in a winning position. And today was pretty spectacular in my book. Look at that right there.
Oh, look at that right there.
I mean, he followed it all the way there.
I saw that weight coming
Good
up. I'm
God.
thinking, man, is that a fish right there or what?
You want me to let him run out there for a
Did we
few
just
minutes
mention
and calm
Louisiana?
down?
Well, that was very
Oh,
Louisiana-esque. Good gracious. That's one that you almost like pulling the lure out of the water and he comes out to grab it.
I'm just reeling down. I was like, man, that looks like a piece of weed down there.
Did I mention that we were just about to leave? Why does it always work that way? Like you threaten to leave and the fish go, no, no, no.
No,
Now we're gonna keep you here for another half hour.
we're not done. We're not done. Wow.
Good job. Man, that thing like came out the depth, like what you were just
I mean,
almost
I
looking.
felt like I got electrocuted. I'm rolling and I'm looking to see where the next little wake is, and I just went to go pick it up, and when I picked it up, I saw something brown behind it, and it didn't seem fishy. I was like, what did I pick up, a piece of grass?
I mentioned we're leaving.
Well, fishing over there with Captain Chris Herrera, I love that style of fishing. It's one of my favorite ways to fish because it's just like it is over here on the Nature Coast. You're running in and out of creeks, you're throwing over oyster bars, you're working marsh grass lines. It's definitely my style, and it's a power fishing style. So this is the setup that I was using. It's a Fitzgerald. This is in the Brian Thrift series. This is actually a bass action rod. It's a micro jig rod, and I was throwing a 3/8 bullet weight above a 4/0 rigging hook on a 4-inch unrigged Mulletron. And this is rigged so weedless, I can throw it up into the marsh grass, I can throw it over oyster, I can basically crawl it anywhere I want to because I bury the hook point. I've got 30-pound, this is Diamond Apex micro braid. So it's hard to see, it's thinner than most. It's like throwing 20-pound standard braid anywhere else. I've got it on my Salty Hundo. This is a bait Salty Hundo, it's got 15 pounds of drag. This 7'3" rod allows me to make nice pinpoint accurate casts up against the bank in all the little drains that come out of the marsh over the top of the oyster bars so I can put it where I want it. And this lure has been just so handy this entire fall. I've been throwing it a ton. I've got a lot of faith in it. It not only mimics finger mullet, but it looks a lot like a mud minnow too, so I can put it almost anywhere I want. I've got a long leader on this. I've got about 6 foot of leader. I've got a 20-pound section up here, butt section, and then I tied on a little piece of 30 because I didn't know exactly how rough we were going to fish, and I want to be prepared. So if you're looking to throw the 4-inch unrigged Mulletron, you want to throw it in color, you really need to consider this sliding bullet weight above a rigging hook with a Mulletron. I think you'll be able to put it wherever you want, and you can fish, I mean, trouble-free all day. There we go. I was just getting ready to swing.
I think it's almost like he thumped it one time, lifted up, there was nothing there. And then on the second one, he came back and grabbed it. All right, nice net job, thank you.
Good looking fish. Big jig.
Look, sometimes you do what you gotta do. Even if it takes throwing a 1/2 ounce jig head down to the bottom. You know, they're predominantly bottom feeders. You gotta get it down to their level.
There is definitely a method to the way you have to fish the creeks. You have to allow for how fast the current is moving. And you definitely have to make sure that your lure, your artificial, is working with the tide because that's the expected direction of the prey to the predator. But you also have to be patient enough to make sure you're making bottom contact. Chris said he wasn't feeling contact with the bottom at all, so he went back and started digging into my hatch. And he found a box that I keep in there during tarpon season that has a lot of heavier swim bait jig heads, and he picked out a 1/2 ounce, which I rationalized in my mind that he was probably gonna go through most of the jigs in my box because he was gonna get hung up on the bottom a lot because this place eats jigs. I mean, when I say eats tackle, it eats terminal tackle. But it paid off for him because he could make the cast up to the back wall, let it fall down that back wall. He'd open his bail, allow it not to pendulum away from the hole, but fall straight down into the hole. And then he was able to make contact with the bottom, work it out. It ended up materializing into the biggest fish of the day. So lesson learned. Chris schooled me on that one.
This is a little better fish. Oh yeah, this is a better fish. Here we go.
Maybe
there
what
we go.
Been looking for.
Yeah. Well, it's not a current fish, but it's a good fish. Oh yeah. Pull a little bit of drag.
He's a little less likely to come to the boat too quick.
No, he's going to take his time. This is a little bigger than I think.
Yeah.
This one's got a little bit of size.
Yeah. Well, this has been a wonderful day of fishing.
You know what? When you get to spend time in a boat with good people, catch a few fish, it's a great day.
It's been incredible, especially, you know, learning how to fish these creek systems and this deeper stuff. This is the type of day in Northeast Florida that you look forward to, you know, where you've got that whole outgoing tide that you get to fish. It's just,
you know, dealing with adversity. Look at that boil. Wow. You know, it's a good fish when you see a boil like that.
That's a big tail wash. Yeah. This one might take us back to your restaurant.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, look at that one. That's a good one.
Look at the tail on that one. I'm gonna get the net.
Yeah, let's get the net for this guy.
I'm gonna get the net. I'm even gonna put my rod away because I got a feeling this is the one we were waiting on. This is the one we've been waiting on. He's ready. Oh, look at the size of this thing. Wow. That's a healthy fish. No wonder it didn't want to come to the boat easy.
Big fish, little water.
Look at the
That's
size
the
of
one
that thing. I am
we've been
telling
waiting
you
for.
right now, that's an oversized fish. You're probably lucky you had that big old jig on there. That's a big swim jig from Z-Man. Swim diesel right there. That's a half ounce. That's how hard that current is.
Yeah, we got that, you know, a couple of days past the full moon. We got a lot of extra water.
Look at the size of that fish.
That's a good one.
That is a great looking fish.
There it is. That was a great fish.
That was a great fish.
Absolutely.
Great fish. Now we can clean up.
Barbecue time?
Barbecue time.
Let's go get some ribs.
Let's get some ribs. I don't get to come to Northeast Florida often enough, and it's been way too long since I've had the ability to fish with Chris Herrera over here. But I'll tell you what, I owe him a debt of thanks because I didn't give him much time to prepare for this. And to be quite honest with you, the audience, he had left Mexico and only been home for 1 day to look around before we had to go out here and shoot this episode in 1 day. So pretty impressive to the experience that he has and familiarity he has with this area. But what I really want to thank him for is I'm about to walk next door to his barbecue restaurant, Captain's Barbecue, and I'm going to take him to the cleaners because I brought my own knife and fork and I'm ready for some ribs.